All right, onto the science of nutrition for the body and building muscle. So, the key concepts of this will be understanding the role of macronutrients, so protein for muscle repair, carbs for energy, and fats for hormone regulation. We need to learn the importance of calorie balance for bulking, cutting, or maintaining. So for this module, we need to make sure that you're taking notes on what each macronutrient does and what it is for the body. So these are important understanding what actually the reason is for certain foods and for certain, needs for diets and all those sort of things. So by the end of this, you will have knowledge on what macronutrients are and their purpose, as well as energy in and energy out and caloric balancing. So straight on to macronutrients. So proteins, they are comprised of, put that over there. They are composed of amino acids. So proteins gets broken down into amino acids in the bloodstream, which are the building blocks of muscle tissue. So consuming adequate protein is essential for repairing, maintaining, and building muscle, especially after exercise induced damage to the muscles. High quality protein sources, including lean meats, dairy, legumes, nuts, fish. It's recommended to distribute protein intake evenly across meals throughout the day to optimize muscle protein synthesis. So every time you eat protein and goes into your bloodstream, it turns into amino acids, which are then sent around and in the blood. And then these are sent to muscles that are damaged. That's not how you spell damage. So protein into amino acids into muscles that are damaged, and then repairs them, which is called, and then when the body's in this process, it's muscle protein synthesis. So that's how protein works. Protein is crucial for making sure that your muscles will repair, come back stronger, and increase in size, and which is ultimately what we want. So making sure you get enough protein is absolutely crucial, and we'll talk about this later. All right, carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are the body's primary energy source. So they are broken down into glucose, so carbs. So protein was broken down into amino acids. Carbs are broken down into glucose in the bloodstream, which fuels physical activities and brain function. So complex carbohydrates found in whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and legumes provide sustained energy and are rich in fiber, aiding digestion and satiety. Balancing carbohydrate intake with activity levels helps maintain energy without promoting fat storage. So having a balanced intake of carbs throughout the day, but especially before and after a workout, is crucial. So this glucose in the bloodstream then goes to your brain, but it also goes to muscles to fuel them. So it's a type of sugar. and it provides energy to the muscles to sustain them, which is why you need to have it before and after a workout. So you have the energy to work out during a workout and to restore that energy after you've worked out, so you can go about the rest of your day. So that's the main use of carbohydrates, so for your muscles and for your brain, and they are pretty fast digesting. So carbohydrates are the fastest digesting, proteins are medium, like they take a bit to digest, but fats take the longest. So now we'll go into fats. Now, dietary fats are extremely important for hormone production, including testosterone, which plays a huge role in muscle growth. So don't skip out on the fats. When cooking eggs, use butter, for example. Fats also support cell membrane integrity and nutrient absorption. So healthy fats such as monosaturated, polyunsaturated fats found in avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil are all quite healthy for the body and for your health. But it's important to reduce saturated fat intake and completely avoid trans fat, as it can cause diseases like cardiovascular disease. So stay away from those. So fats are extremely important for hormones. So making sure you have a lot of fats in your diet to support testosterone production. This is why when you eat steaks, for example, so I don't know, that's a steak. Imagine that's a steak, right? Steaks are quite high in fat, especially ribeye steaks. So that's why when you eat ribeye, you get a boost in test, which you can feel. You can directly feel this boost because it's direct hormone production. So especially like direct testosterone hormone production. So that's why people advocate for ketogenic, carbohydrate or carnivore, higher meat-based diets, because they have a lot of fats and essential nutrients and essential fats for your hormone production, and they have a lot of protein. So getting your protein goals in for the day is extremely easy on a carnivore keto diet. Okay, macronutrient considerations. Different macronutrients have varying energy densities. So fats provide the most energy at 9 kcal per gram, making it easier to consume excessive calories. So protein and carbohydrates contain 4 per gram. Protein is particularly beneficial for weight management, as it promotes satiety and supports muscle retention during weight loss. So those looking to gain muscle should aim for a slight caloric surplus, while those aiming to lose weight should maintain a deficit. This is why a lot of people that go on keto and carnivore tend to lose a lot of weight, because a lot of it is comprised of a lot of protein, very minimal carbs, and there's a decent amount of fats in there, but it's all healthy fats and ones that promotes hormone production. So having a very high based protein diet with just a lot of meat, it actually loses you a lot of weight. A lot. And you keep a lot of the muscle as well when you're losing a bunch of the weight. So energy in, energy out. Energy intake comes from food and beverages, including the above macronutrients, so proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. It's important to note that liquid calories count towards total intake, with water being the only liquid that does have 0 calories and doesn't count. So proper hydration is crucial for overall health, and consuming clean, filtered water is recommended. None of the tap water with the heavy metals and birth control hormones. If you can, get a reverse osmosis machine for your tap and for your sink, because this will, clean out majority of those harmful chemicals for you. Because, you don't want birth control in your water, because that will mess around with your hormones, especially if you're a male. It will reduce your testosterone, increase your estrogen. Not good. All right. Energy out. This mainly includes your basal metabolic rate, which is the energy required to maintain bodily functions at rest. Physical activity, which is exercise, training, and occupational exertion, e.g. manual labor, burns more energy than sedentary work. Thermic effect of food. So this is the energy used to digest food, absorb and process nutrients, which will give you your total daily expenditure, which is how many calories your body will burn a day, based on the above 3 factors. So if you're more active, you'll burn more calories. When you eat more protein, the TEF for protein is higher for your body, so you'll burn more calories digesting it. For example, an individual who weighs 80 kgs and is 5'10" has a BMR of approximately 7,500 kilojoules. If they consume the same amount and burn an equal number of calories, their weight will remain stable. However, energy imbalances cause weight fluctuations. Excess energy intake, so a surplus. Consuming more calories than burned will result in weight gain, primarily stored as fat, but you will gain a lot of muscle in a surplus. Energy deficit. Consuming fewer calories than burned results in weight loss as the body utilizes stored fat for energy. Now, you will lose slight amounts of muscle as well, because the body will use muscle as a form of energy to burn. So keep that in mind. Surplus. A caloric surplus is where you build the most muscle. Energy deficit is where you lose the most fat, but you also do lose a slight bit of muscle. But that's how you get shredded, you look your best, and you look like jacked. So this is what we come back into, caloric balancing. So bulking is a calorie surplus. To gain muscle faster, a caloric surplus is something that is necessary, which means to consume more calories than your body expends in energy. This surplus provides the extra energy required for muscle synthesis. However, it is important to make sure that the surplus isn't excessive to minimize fat gain. There are variations of bulking, lean bulking, dirty bulking, and in almost every scenario, lean bulking is better. More nutritious and less fat gain, making the cut even easier for yourself. Cutting. When cutting to lose fat, you create a caloric deficit, which is essentially all it is, where your body burns off more calories than you intake. This deficit promotes the body to utilize stored fat for energy. Maintaining sufficient protein intake during this phase helps preserve muscle mass. And obviously working out every single day as well. So maintenance. This is basically where eating at a maintenance calories to keep your body weight stable and the same. This approach is often used during body recomposition efforts, where the goal is to lose fat, but also to gain muscle at the same time simultaneously. It requires a lot of careful monitoring, is quite difficult to do, and you'll need very high training intensity with very close monitoring of your macronutrient distributions. So I would stay away from a maintenance unless you're really serious into bodybuilding and knowing like what you're doing with your nutrition and stuff. Just focus to bulking for an extended period of time, so lean bulking. Then when you get to your desired weight, cut down. So the practical application to this is, consider a 20-year-old individual 5'10", weighing 170 pounds, or that's roughly 70, around the 70-ish kilogram mark, aiming to gain 1 pound per week. The estimated daily caloric needs might be around 2,800 calories. Allocating macronutrients could involve 170 grams of protein, because 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, or the scientifically crucial amount is 0.81. So as long as you're getting 0.81 grams of protein per pound of body weight, you'll be fine. 350 grams of carbohydrates and 78 grams of fat, assuming fats make up 25% of your total calories. So that is the macronutrient distribution of someone who's aiming to gain 1 pound of weight per week. So it would be a caloric surplus. So that is the end. So just know that, keep in mind, with bulking, you could have a maintenance of 2000, but if you're lean bulking, you might go up to 2300, 400. And always with a bulk, just go in excess of, you can even go up to like 400, 300 extra calories, grams of, 200, 300 extra calories, because you will gain weight that way. And if you're not gaining weight, then what do? You just add slight more calories onto each end until you start gaining weight at a reasonable pace. And when you're cutting, same thing. You just reduce your calories, your daily calorie intake by 200, 300. And then if you notice you're not losing weight, reduce it by a slight bit more and keep it at that level. Now, when you do start to lose weight and you get lower and lower and lower in weight, you will need to reduce your calories even more, because your body will make the maintenance level that reduced number of calories. So then you need to cut more calories even more. So you basically just keep cutting, and that is that. We'll now move on to meal planning and macro tracking. See you there.